Generalized anxiety disorder. Now, listen, guys, my name is Paul, and I am helping young people in London to rid themselves of anxiety. And I truly do believe that we can reduce this amount substantially because most of these things can actually be fixed naturally just with the help of some guidance and taking some actions. If you guys haven't already, check out my Patreon. The link is in the bio. So today we'll be talking about generalized anxiety disorder, and over the coming days I'll be discussing the different types of anxiety that people tend to go through. So in this video I'll be mentioning the different types of problems that people with generalized anxiety disorder tend to go through. I also have my notes with me today just so I can give more, scientific evidence or proof or just scientific back facts, just so at least you can identify the different types and forms of problems that people with generalized anxiety disorder tend to go through. So the first thing, and this just kind of like a category of like the things that people with generalized anxiety disorder tend to go through. So the first thing is excessive worry, and this tends to just be people that tend to just excessively worry or persistently worry about things during their day, and this could be in like daily activities. So the different types of worry that these type of people tend to have would be on like family health. To fix this, for family health, I do truly believe being there for that type of person is the best way, helping them by, if they have a cold, if that's the health problem they're going through and they have a cold and that's what you're worrying about, maybe you called them the night before and they were crying, then going to them, consoling them, rather than worrying about them, going to them or calling them, reaching out to them and leaving them on a high. So let's say they have a cold, making like a ginger tea, herbal tea for them in the morning, and just giving it to them, making them feel better, talking with them, empowering them, and then leaving them like happy. This is more likely to reduce the chance of you thinking or worrying about them, because worrying is really not going to fix the situation. I know we tend to like catch ourselves worrying sometimes, like, this thing's putting me down on my days. I hope she's okay. I hope she's okay is okay, but like just constantly thinking and worrying about that person is genuinely not going to help the situation. And usually replacing these thoughts with positive ones, like thinking happy for them, usually praying as well can help, because you're actually like trying to solve this situation by replacing the negative thoughts with a positive one. And usually these thoughts can actually come to fruition. Also with the with the help of breathing as well, just so you can stay in the present moment. I do truly believe that like breathing deep breaths can help, one, to get the right thoughts in your brain, also two, to allow these thoughts to like appear in your mind and just go away naturally, so that way you don't, it's not like a bother, it's not something that's bothering you, it's more just something that your body just needs to naturally heal from. And this deep breathing, breath work, meditation can actually help to counteract this. Another thing that people with generalized anxiety disorder tend to go through is difficulty concentrating. So if they were reading a book, people with generalized anxiety disorder tend to struggle to read or like stay focused. Even watching this video, my heart is out there for you. If you have anxiety and you find it really difficult to concentrate, obviously with technology, TikTok, short form content, a lot of young people struggle to concentrate. So let's say you're in an exam, 1 hour exam, a lot of people tend to like fidget, play with their hands, play with their hair, rather than just focusing and being in the present moment, focusing on that one activity that they have at hand. A lot of people tend to start one task, not finish it, start another task, not finish it, and then it just ends up piling up, and then now there's just too many things to do. So obviously they can't concentrate on one thing because they have so many other things that they have to do. I used to be this type of person where I'd overload myself with so many things rather than just focusing on one thing. This morning I literally just woke up, turned on my camera and started making content. This is the second time I'm recording this video. I literally recorded a beautiful video for you guys about this, and sadly my phone died. So now I'm charging my phone. I'm not using the microphone anymore. So I'm just charging it and speaking out loud, making sure this video comes out. I truly do believe this video will help a lot of people. Just knowing what types of things people with generalized anxiety disorder tend to go through. And I actually relate with a few of these things. I do find it difficult to concentrate. I tend to worry sometimes about things, but I always catch myself worrying and then I replace it with, positive thoughts, negative visualization, and also deep breathing. Also, restlessness is another problem that people with generalized anxiety disorder tend to go through. They tend to be restless. Once again, if you're doing a lot of activities, you're doing a lot of tasks, you have a lot of commitments, a lot of responsibilities, yes, you tend to be restless because you wanna fix all these situations at the same time. But like I said, one activity at a time. Humans are not meant to multitask. We do not perform optimally when we have multiple things happening at the same time and we try to solve them all at the same time. Humans perform optimally when we're focused on one thing and then we move on to the next task after completing that thing. A lot of people with generalized anxiety disorder tend to go through either feeling on edge or having some form of muscle tension. So feeling on edge, always, just like they don't know how they feel. They just feel this emotion within them and it just doesn't feel right. And obviously I feel like to combat this is if you look and feel happy and you feel good about yourself, you'll be less likely to feel on edge. Like if you stay on top of things, you focus on one task at a time, you let your thoughts appear naturally, you perform or you practice deep breathing exercises or breath work. And if you don't know how to breathe to relax yourself, it's a deep inhale. So obviously your belly comes out and then your chest comes afterwards. But it's all the way in. So a deep, nice, sharp, deep inhale. And then you just breathe out just to leave or let all that worry and stress, just let go of it. So essentially you want to make sure that your inhale is shorter, so like 4 seconds, and your exhale is 8 seconds, just pretty much doubling it. Just as long as your exhale is much longer than your inhale, then you're putting your body in a more relaxed state. So you might get thoughts in your mind, but always remember, go back to the breath, let thoughts happen naturally. And what's funny is that you tend to start thinking of things that like you couldn't think of in the past. When I noticed when I was doing a 20-minute like breathwork meditation, I could catch myself remembering things that I couldn't normally remember. Like let's say I'm with friends and like there's this thing I'm trying to remember, an experience that we've had together, and I can't tend to put my mind to remembering specifically what that thing was. But when I'm practicing meditation, breathing exercises, I tend to like remember like things like that, things that I just never normally remember or would never just come back to mind. Also, whilst I'm breathing, it's almost like I'm actually like solving problems in my head. And for every problem you're solving, it's almost like you're just calming down, relieving yourself of that anxiety and that pressure in that area. Another issue that people with generalized anxiety disorder tend to go through is problems sleeping. So they kind of coincides with, restlessness. They want to do so many things. So they find themselves like restless, so they can't sleep at night. I think another reason why a lot of people find it hard to sleep at night is because their mind is overstimulated before they get to sleep. So a good like combat, a, a good thing to do to tackle this would be like 1 hour before sleeping, avoid like any sugars, caffeine, just avoid caffeine in general in the evening times, like evening to night. Don't touch anything that has caffeine, but because it usually tends to make people with anxiety, their symptoms worse. But just essentially do everything you can to be in a tired state before sleeping. So if you have to turn every light off in your room, if you have to avoid phone usage, prepare yourself for sleep, make your bed, get comfortable, stay in your bed, maybe read a book 1 hour or 30 minutes before bed. And all these things will just help you to calm yourself down, calm your heart rate, practice meditation, drink some chamomile or green tea. So just put yourself in a relaxed state, and then you will just find yourself sleeping faster and having a more fulfilled sleep, which obviously will in return reduce your anxiety and give you more anxiety relief. So those are the problems that people tend to have. What are the thoughts that people with excessive worry, what do people with people with generalized anxiety disorder, and when they're excessively worrying, what are these things that they worry about? Most people tend to worry about minor matters, things that are like not as important. So stuff like chores, so housework, things that you need to do in the house, car repairs, fixing your car. Obviously cars, when your car needs to be repaired, it can be the most stressful thing, because like you have to replan activities for the day and stuff like that, work, etc. So that can be very stressful. I do understand that, but like things like material things should never like stress you out. And also like appointments. So obviously if you have appointments or you're meeting up with people with generalized anxiety disorder, they tend to be anxious about meeting that person, or it's just weird. It's like when you have a time and a place set, you're just anxious, worrying about that thing. I hope it goes perfect. I hope I wear the right clothes. I hope I'm not there like late. Like you're just worrying about like you know what to do to be on time, you know what to wear. Most of these things are just so simple, but we over stress or over worry about them, and it just makes us more anxious. It's almost like, let's say let's say there was a film that was coming out and they gave us like a 1 hour trailer. Like we'd be so anxious for this film to come out. Like we'd be worrying like, when is this show coming out? Oh my days. Like they've literally just given you a 1 hour trailer. Of course you want to watch the film. Like why have you made it so long? Why have you worried so long about it? But obviously trailers are usually like 30 seconds to like 2 minutes. They keep it short. So yes, you still want to watch the show, but you're not worrying about it. Actually, that was a terrible analogy, my bad. A better analogy is like just having thoughts in your mind about things that you're worrying about is not actually fixing the situation. So you're making yourself more prone to being anxious, because you're worrying about something, rather you're worrying about a problem rather than thinking of ways to find solutions, or actually like going through in your head the solutions, the pathways that you can use to actually fix this situation, as opposed to just worrying and stressing about it. I've never like I've never seen or never been in a situation where I've worried and worrying was the fix to the situation, worrying was the fix to the problem. Like it's never been the case. If anything, excessively worrying about things just makes my situation worse, makes me more anxious, makes me more nervous. And then when I actually go to tackle that problem, it's like I've made it harder on myself, because I've carried all this baggage. It's like I'm carrying like a heavy bag, and I just keep putting things in the bag, And then when it goes to actually solving the problem, it's like I'm still holding that bag, but whilst I'm holding that bag trying to fix the problem, I'm unloading it slowly, but there's so many things in the bag that I need to unload, when I could have just had my bag light and just perform and just fix that solution as soon as possible, and then that's it. Like I could just be swift, I could be agile. I think that's a very good like way of seeing it. You're carrying a bag. When you excessively worry, you keep putting things in your bag. You're just putting more things, chucking things in the bag. Now your back is heavy, and you know that you still have to fix this problem, but now you have to fix the problem with the bag on. Is it easy to fix a problem when you have shackles on your feet, when your back is heavy? It's not easy, right? Because you're gonna move slower, you're gonna perform slower, you're gonna be more likely to make mistakes, maybe trip up. But if your bag is light and there's no restraints on you, you know, your mind is light, you're more likely to perform that activity like beautifully, like amazingly, with no problems, no stress, because your back is light. You don't have things that you're worried about. You're not excessively worrying about this thing. You're excessively trying to find a solution to these problems as opposed to excessively worrying about these problems. So the fixes to generalized anxiety disorder. Now, personally, I don't agree with like taking medication. I know a lot of people are like, you know, not addicted, but a lot of people are like in a routine of taking certain prescriptions, and I truly don't believe that these things will help. But if your doctor has told you that you have to take this prescription, whatever, like I can't tell you medically what to do because I'm not like a doctor. So I would say fray away from these things, like move away from these things, because there's other ways, there's other things that you can do to fix these situations. And most of the time it just makes you dependent on these drugs, on these supplements, on these prescriptions. It makes you dependent. You don't want to be dependent on something that's not natural. Most of the time these prescriptions aren't natural. When you look at the back and you see the ingredients, there's just so many terrible things in them. And then you go to wonder like, and I hear a lot of people say, well, like they defend so hard these prescriptions, like they're like paracetamol is good, like you have to take it, you need take it. Like I'm like, why are you so, I wish you had the same conviction to take the same actions of the baseline things. If you just practiced deep breathing every day, you would have never had this problem in the first place. If you looked after your diet, this problem wouldn't have been a thing. If you drank water, so it's almost like prevention is better than cure. Why are you so focused on the cure when you can just do the things to prevent your problem from getting worse? Do the things that prevent the problem from getting worse, so that you don't need to be focused on the cure, like on curing this thing. And if you do need to cure this thing, find natural ways. Look at organic things, breathing. Look at your inner. Fix yourself. Don't put other things like in. Don't put things that are like man-made or lab made to like fix your situation. These things are just gonna tackle the problem for like a couple hours, a couple minutes, and then you're back into reality. So I truly don't believe like these like drugs and supplements can help your situation. But the fixes are having someone to talk to. So obviously talk therapy, otherwise known as CBT, otherwise known as cognitive behavioral therapy. And this is essentially where you speak to someone and this person teaches you, or they redirect your mind on how you should think, how you should respond, and how you should behave in these situations. And then eventually over time you start to think, you start to behave and respond better to certain things that trigger your anxiety. And that's why I have my Patreon platform. I truly do believe that I can be someone that is there for people. I can guide you in the right path. It's not going to be easy. You're not just going to fix the situation on my first call with me, but if we can get you on, you know, just some consultation, letting out your problems, and then also taking actionable steps, the right actionable steps to overcome these problems that you're facing, I think truly you'll be in a better place in the near future. But you have to take that action. Right now, it is at a discounted price. So if you want to get that one-on-one consultation, one-on-one coaching, take that action now. The link will be in the bio. Other things that you can do is avoid caffeine. Like I said, at night, caffeine is terrible at night because it just literally, it gives you energy. It's amazing. Like, it's actually good. Like, coffee is good. Coffee, like green teas and stuff like that, these are amazing. But like, you want to reduce your caffeine usage before sleep. And I know I did mention like drink some chamomile tea, but avoid things with caffeine if you have anxiety, especially coffee, like especially coffee. If you want to drink coffee at the best or ideal time, drink coffee an hour or two after you wake up, because usually you tend to crash and you don't want to be crashing. But like, the crash isn't as bad if you do it after you wake up, like an hour or two, and then you drink coffee. Have 1 or 2 cups within that like segment, and then avoid it like throughout the rest of the day. You don't want to drink too much because it'll, especially if you have anxiety, like anxiety and too much energy, like from coffee anyway, they don't mix together well. You're just gonna end up worrying faster, worrying more, heart rate beating faster. But remember, I've given you the solution to, you know, if your heart rate is beating fast or you're worrying excessively, breathe. Breathe, guys, breathe. Breathe, 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 breathe. I wish I could mention this in every video, because people will watch this video. You probably haven't even watched this far, fair enough. But people will watch this video, and I've mentioned breathing so many times in this video, but you'll still forget to breathe. You'll still go out and mouth breathe. You'll still go out there and forget about breathing. You'll have anxiety and you'll forget that you can actually just breathe and take a deep breath. Remember when your teacher in like secondary school used to tell you like, breathe in for like 10 seconds. I don't know what they used to say. I remember my teacher telling me like, oh, just take a deep breath in. Just take a deep breath. Yeah, I remember my teachers used to say, oh, take a deep breath. But I never knew like the impact that could actually have on me. And these used to be like the best teachers, like usually the the teachers that actually care about their students. They used to actually tell me like, oh, Paul, just take a deep breath, like for 10 seconds. And it used to help, like it used to calm me down. But I'd never like go back to it. Like, I'd not go home and practice that. I'd not, you know, during sports activities practice that. In the morning I wouldn't practice that. Before like sleep I wouldn't practice that. It would only be in times of like where I'm like energetic, because I used to be like a really energetic kid. I'd bounce off walls. But it'd usually be in times like that where someone else is telling me to do it. But I had to find it myself. I had to find videos like this where people are talking about breathing, showing me how to breathe, before I could actually start doing it myself and remembering throughout my day that, oh yeah, I need to breathe. Almost like mewing, putting your roof on the tip of your mouth, putting your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Like, I watched so many videos on how to do it. So many people spoke about it, but it took me going out of my way to find those type of videos and actually practicing it before I started to learn. So I might talk about breathing like in all my videos. For like 100 videos, you might watch the 100 videos, but it might take my 101, like my 101st video, it might take you that video, the 101st video, before you actually start like implementing the strategy of breathing. So that's why I think it's very important that I make specific videos to this thing. I truly do believe that if I can fix anxiety, that's like a greater fulfillment. And that's why I stick to this one thing, because I want to combat and tackle anxiety. And like I said, over the coming days, I'll be talking about the different forms of anxiety. Today, obviously, we covered generalized anxiety disorder, and in the future, we'll talk about the other ones. So if you do relate with this genuinely and you need help with it, check out my Patreon, be a member, and I'll be going over ways to combat, to tackle, to fix your anxiety and relieve you from anxiety, so that you can actually go focus on your purpose. So you can focus on being more present in the moment with your friends. So you can just be someone that's not socially awkward and not allow, your anxiety to stop you from doing things or achieving goals in life. Because a lot of people, they don't achieve goals in life just because of anxiety. A goal for someone might be, I want to be a president, but they have anxiety, social anxiety, prime minister, whatever. If you know that, like, if you're stopping yourself from talking to other people, if you tell yourself, no, I can't ever talk to, like, I can't talk to too many people, I just prefer to be by myself, like, you're not going to be a prime minister. But it takes getting into uncomfortable conversations with people, opening up about certain past personal life experiences. It takes feeling those emotions of anxiety with other people and, like, just numbing it, persevering, like, numerous times continuously, and then you start to realize, okay, I can start speaking to people. Then you can start talking to, members of parliament, trying to, get a seat in the House of Commons or the House of Lords, and then working your way up. So take that action, as boring, as cliche, as stupid, as whatever it may seem. Just get rid of those negative thoughts of disbelief and actually believe that you can achieve these things. Actually take that action. Actually go, like, breathe. Like, right now after this video, go practice meditation. Go on, type in on YouTube Hamza meditation 10 minutes. Type in Wim Hof guided meditation. Download the app Medito on your phone and actually practice meditation. Like, practice it right now. Don't leave it for, like, I'll do it in an hour, I'll do it in 10 minutes. Like, practice it now. So at least you know that I've done it now. So next time I'll do it again. It's like almost like when you start something now, you're more likely to do it again later. But when you say I'll do it later, you're less likely to do it later. So if you do it now, you're more likely to do it later. So if you want to fix your anxiety now, take an action, take a step now. Practice breathing, meditation. Learn more about breathing, learn more about your breath. There's literally doctors out there that will teach you about breathing. Go on YouTube, type in Dr. Andrew Huberman and type in breath. Just literally type in breath, and there'll be like a 2-3 hour podcast. Sit down and watch that video, and whilst watching that video, practice meditation. Practice the steps and actions that he tells you in that video to improve your breathing, because you're focusing on this one thing that can actually bring you exponential returns, bring you some value back into your life, into your body, give you that energy that you have seeping inside of you. Check out my Patreon. It's been your boy Paul Khadar. Love you guys all. Peace. We out.